Hey everybody and welcome back. In today's video I'm going to do a really quick overview of why you should consider using app templates for PowerApps, whether it's for personal or business use. So before we jump in, don't forget to like and subscribe and check out the channel for new content, and check out my PowerApps playlist on YouTube as well. So jumping straight in, when you go into the PowerApps screen, if you don't have a ton of different connectors that you've already purchased and built out, you may be a little bit confused about why some options may not be easily available or readily available. So what we're going to do is start out with the basic, and I'm not going to say free necessarily because a lot of the times you're paying for a business account, but we have templates that we can use that we're not going to have to pay additional for. Now, up at the top, you have 3 different connectors. So if you don't have a business account that's associated with a SharePoint site, for example, or Excel online, then you may not be able to use these. But the idea with these 3 connectors is it's a data-centered app. So you're going to have a page with a browse function, which is basically this list. But then you're also going to have a details screen and an edit screen. So your main screen would look something like a basic app with these items. When you select an item, it would open it, and then it would also allow you to edit the item. So those are the 3 screens. Now, you can also build out templates as well, and you'll see there are some very, very powerful app options. A couple of things to note here is some of these will require connections to additional resources that are typically going to be like a Microsoft product, but some of them are just kind of self-contained. So we'll take a look at this Service Desk app here. Now, when you click it, you'll see a preview of the app, and then you would just choose whatever your name for the app is going to be. So we can call it 123 and then click next. Now, all of these apps or templates are going to function in a similar manner. They're going to start out with this getting things ready page and build out essentially the basis of the application, which has the majority of the components pre-configured for a test case. So there is a good chance you're going to break some of the functionality if you don't manage things correctly, but it's not that difficult overall. So you'll see here you can make this yours by connecting to data storage such as OneDrive. But another option that we have as we're scrolling through, we can just take a look at the different functions within the app first. So if we click preview the app, you'll see that we already have an app that, for a lack of better words, is already functional. So if we go to all tickets and we click on this ticket, we have the ability to basically work with and manage with whatever we're provided as far as the functionality that's already existing in the app. So you'll see we have some people and a different functionality. So basically this app is already built. We just would have to connect it to our data source, for example. So when you click save, you'll see that we have some functionality up here, and it has a table that's already built called Ticket Collect 1. When we click this, we can see all of the details for that table. So this is something that's already pre-built, and you could replace this with your table IDs, although that's not the easiest way, but it is an option. So you'll see down here we have all of our different pages, but the idea here is we have the majority of our functionality over here that we would want to work with or change. So as we're scrolling through, you have a few different options. So you can view all of the different pages, and then you can essentially get a feel for the app to better understand what you need to do and where. So now when we go to add data, what I'm going to do is, instead of adding a data source online, because those tend to be pretty easy, like SharePoint, it automatically connects it, you know what the data is and where it is. So what we're going to do is we're just going to add static data to make it simple to work with. So we're going to click save on this workbook here, but it requires you, or PowerApps is going to require you to have a table. So when you're working with your various items, so for example, in this case, I just have these 3 columns, we're going to need to format as a table. And it doesn't really matter, we can just use the basics, and note that our table has headers, and then once you save it, this can now be used in PowerApps. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go to the desktop, and then we'll open this Excel file, choose the table that we just created, and again, you can change that based on whatever you feel like you need to. But essentially, that would be all that you need to do. So once you've done that, you have essentially a data source once you've actually imported it. Now what you can do is you can manage things from this data source. So for example, when we click on this item here, you'll see we can choose data, and then you'll see all of these different options. But here we can choose table 1. And now it's showing from a random column. So you'll see all of that is this status column here. So you would be able to adjust your fields based on number of deliverables, project. So in this case, if we chose project, now we have a list of all of our projects over here. And then we could update the functionality on this side to reflect something, whatever we want it to be. Now, the downside about this app specifically is it's very much catered towards the specific tickets when they've been opened and things of that nature. So it can be a little bit more painful to update this, but some functionality here, for example, if you wanted to update these individual components, then you can select the component and then you can choose the value and easily update it. I really like doing this personally because I don't have a great eye for design, so it's a lot easier. So for example here, when you clear out the current table, and then when you start typing, you'll see that one of your tables, which you have to find the right one, but it'll appear here. Now it's pulling all of the rows within my table. So the idea here is if you want to count rows, you can specify count rows for in progress, for example, and we could specify that over here. Now, you can do a variety of different things. So with the count rows function, when we double click, because these are in a group, you can select which one specifically you want to work with and use the more advanced functionality to dictate what you want to display. So again, when you click it, you can go over here, choose size, edit whatever you want to, but in this case, if we edited text, you'll see it's already giving us a filter here. So we can actually modify this to work with our current table, and we'll have it for the status, and then we'll see status in progress. So maybe we want to see in progress. Now it's showing 2. And then all we would have to do is change the text at the bottom to say in progress. So as you can see, it's relatively straightforward as far as editing. I know it can appear less user-friendly if you aren't familiar with how exactly to use this functionality in this platform. So again, feel free to take a look at the other videos that I have. But the main idea here is you have, once you've connected everything and kind of built things out, you have a fully functional app with a moderately attractive interface that's just ready to go. So you can go through and publish the app. You can go through the process of adjusting any settings and all of those things. So pretty straightforward. So let me know your thoughts in the comment box below if there's anything in particular you want to see with PowerApps in future videos, and I'll see you all in the next video.